Okay, so this week I had one thing left to do. Passing the propfirm challenge. That's it. And it was way harder than it had to be. This is my weekly recap. Let's get into it. Monday opened below previous day's value, with VWAP sloping higher, so direction was genuinely unclear. I had two scenarios in mind: flip the value area bullish towards 74.30s, or flip VWAP bearish towards the 73.90s. Once we cleared liquidity at 74.20s, I sat on my hands for most of the morning, watching price push lower, without liquidity clearing, feeling frustrated on the sidelines. Every time price came near the node at the 20s, it got cleared partially and rejected. I wasn't comfortable shorting without full resolution. Eventually, at the open, price pushed through that liquidity cleanly. I waited, confirmed we were holding above, and got long towards the 74.40s, moved the trade to break even to reduce risk. I'll be honest, I was conscious of the challenge, and didn't want to give anything back unnecessarily. It hit a decent win to start the week well, and put me closer to the objective. With that, I only needed around $250 to pass. This is where the challenge gets hard. I only needed 1 2-hour trade. The temptation to force something, to rush, to get it done, that's the real test. I wanted to come in looking for a clean setup the next day. Tuesday, we were below previous day's value, VWAP sloping lower and liquidity lower. Bearish bias towards the 7400s. GEX in negative regimen with a pull wall at the 7400s. I was watching the 7420s for a potential short, and then CPI hit, and the target got taken out without giving me a clean entry. I spent hours watching setups form and dissolve, feeling frustration of every move happening without conditions I could participate in. And I want to be honest, I was so close to passing that I couldn't bear taking a loss. So when a short appeared at the rejection of the 7400s, I took it. Not because the criteria were there, but because I was trying to squeeze something out of the market. It was a loss. And then, the right setup appeared, a new short with actual criteria at VWAP, and now, I was scared to take it because of the loss I'd just taken. I was able to force myself to take it anyways, because I had to break away from this random objective of passing the combine. Even if I passed, the job wasn't done. And it hit. The first loss taught me something. The second trade was only possible because I acknowledged what went wrong, and took the next setup anyway. With that, I closed the charts with the necessary profit to get funded. Wednesday, first day of the funded account. The idea was simple: turn off the idea of making money and just follow the setup. That turns out to be easier said than done. Bullish above previous day's value, VWAP sloping higher, looking above all-time highs. Book fin both ways. We spent all morning range bound, trailing to a support at 74.48 and VWAP. Then PPI hit, volatility spiked lower. At this point, I was cautious about longing until we recovered. A short setup started forming towards the 7400s. I had the level, I had the thesis, and I watched price break through my supports, hit my target, and retrace without me. Multiple instances where I had everything I needed, I just couldn't press the button. At that point, the market would need to press the button for me or nothing would happen. I was paralyzed. Eventually, I took a trade towards 7400s, off a level I'd wanted to retrace to, knowing most of the move was already gone. It ended in a loss, but I recognized something important. The point was never to get funded or collect the payout. It's to become profitable, and that means taking losses on the way there. First day of the eval ends in a loss. So the goal coming into Thursday was the same that it had been for the last few days. Put the strategy to work. Simple plan: hold VWAP long to the 7500s, lose previous day's value area high, target the 74.65s. I took my first long off VWAP, which ended in a loss. Second stab, price retook VWAP and I got back in. I moved it to break even after some back and forth, and unfortunately price went to my target and retraced 1 point away. 1 point. I refused to remove it. I stuck to the setup, but this trade ended up hitting my stop for a break-even trade. And here's the thing: progress will never be straightforward. Doing things right doesn't always provide good results. I don't regret any trade today. I came in looking to run my setups. I did, and I didn't mismanage anything. Despite the P&L, it was a good day, but I would be lying if I said this felt like a good day. On Friday, we were inside previous day's value, VWAP sloping lower. I had two scenarios in mind: short to the 74.15s or wait for VWAP to flip and target the 74.80s. My first trade was a short to the 74.15s, which ended up in a fast loss. The node of the 74.15s ended up being removed, and I shifted to a bullish scenario. I got long on the reclaim of a VWAP band towards the 74.80s. I ended up bailing for a small loss when it got heavy above, because at that point we were likely to retest the 74.46s. I reloaded with bullish momentum, and for a while it looked better. Then it started retracing. This time I committed to letting it play out. It didn't work out, giving me a loss. Yeah, this day wasn't easy. I accidentally went above my daily loss limit, but in general, this day was just a day that was gonna end up in a loss regardless. Wednesday, I watched 3 setups play out without me because I couldn't press the button. The paralysis cost me more than any loss this week. A loss I can recover from. A trade I never took, I can only regret. Next week, I'm focusing on one thing. When the criteria are met, I take the trade. Whatever happens after, that is the market's problem. I got funded. Fresh start. Subscribe if you want to see how it goes.